Thank you for tuning in to KUCR. Today we're catching up with Isabel Quintero. Isabel is an award-winning author and writer. Her books include Gabi, A Girl in Pieces, Ugly Cat Pablo, and My Poppy Has a Motorcycle. Welcome to the program, Isabel.
Thank you for having me, Elliot.
So, how has the current pandemic affected your writing?
I'm a person who works from home anyway, so I've been fortunate enough to be working from home for the last few years. Um, Although I once in a while I'll adjunct, but I live off my writing, but um, it's different. You see a lot of memes about the difference between what is it you're working from home like during a pandemic is different than working from home on a regular day or something along those lines. And it really is like that, because some days I will work and it feels like it's keeping a sense of normalcy, right? Like I'm working, I'm doing what I usually do. But in the past, I've been able to go home or not go home, leave home if to take a break, to go on a hike, to go and visit my mom, to go and do these other things. And now that escape isn't there. Now I'm just, stuck at home. And not only am I stuck at home, but I'm stuck at home and pregnant. And that like adds another level to it because, I can't see my mom or my family and share that moment with them. And it's just constantly worried, not only about myself, but about my partner and about my baby and worried about all of these things. And so that, occupies a lot of space in my head. And, I get writing done, but it kind of pushes writing to the side. It doesn't seem writing doesn't seem as, oh my gosh, as pressing, but it also seems incredibly pressing at the same time, right?
Mhm.
And so, I think the last week or so, I've been getting back into writing more so, and that's because like I had a deadline on Friday, and then now I have stuff like this Friday I have another deadline for my agent, and so it's a lot, but it's hard to kind of sit down and work while you're constantly worrying about everything else too, right? Where you're worried about health, while you're worried about, well, I can't leave my house and I've been here and the four walls seems smaller and smaller. And oh, is my partner chewing louder or am I just, is it just, these things that you don't notice, that all of a sudden everything you notice and everything becomes louder.
Yeah. Well, previously you've done live book readings at bookstores and other
Mm-hmm.
places, and now you're doing online readings and discussions. How is it adjusting to an online format?
Um, I definitely miss doing live stuff. One of the things that, besides, it kind of goes with the first question you asked about how has it changed. Well, a lot of my job, besides the writing, how I pay my rent is doing school visits, doing presentations, doing book festivals, doing conferences. And so all of that is gone now, right? And so I have been doing some Zoom stuff and some Instagram live stuff. And it's great, you know. Um, it's not the same though, because you don't have the same kind of interaction with your readers or with, people, audience members who are there. Um, you don't have the same kind of ability to sell or market your book, right? That you do because anyone tunes in, but doesn't mean that people are buying books or that that's happening. Um, but I think that it's great. I get to connect with people who maybe I wouldn't have connected because I'm doing an Instagram, so someone from Texas or New York or from wherever can be present at the same time. Whereas before, it only limited to the people who could afford to buy a ticket to fly wherever, that festival was. So, it has good stuff and not so good stuff. It does take time and prep. I think a lot of people um, underestimate um, the fact that even if you're doing a Zoom call and you're in your house and you're wearing pajama pants, you still have to prep for it. It's not like you just show up, right? You still have to think about what you're going to do, um, and you still have to be on. It's not just a whatevs kind of situation. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's been at least, I feel like at least there is a way to connect with people still, so yay, technology.
Yeah, definitely. What other projects are you working on right now?
So I have a few projects. I have a young adult novel that I've been working on for a while. I have a middle grade book, which is what my agent is waiting for. And so that's a little bit different than what I've been working on or I've have published, right? Because it is uh, speculative fiction, so I guess it's horror.
Mm.
So it's very different than the stuff that I've put out, but it's been a lot of fun writing it. Um, and picture books and some other things that I'm working on um, that I'm excited about. Can't really talk about, but that I'm really excited about and like to get out. Like to get the ball rolling on those things.
Cool, cool, sweet.
Mm.
Well, in closing, what are some uplifting ideas you want to send us off with?
Yeah, so I just want to tell everyone, I know that it is hard right now, and we're all feeling it. I think we're all feeling that we're just tired of being home. We're tired of not seeing people. We're tired of not being able to um, get coffee or do whatever it is that we, normally would do that would make us feel like a community. Um, but I want to tell people to stay home if you can. I know some of us aren't can't, like my dad. He still has to go to work. You know, he works construction, and they're not shutting down. So I understand that. Um, but to remember that we are a community, that we do not exist in a vacuum of our own little lives, that our lives, that the world doesn't revolve around us, it revolves around each other. We revolve around each other so that our actions affect other people. So if you're home, and you're going crazy and you're like, I need to do something, I think there are lots of things that we can do, right? And if possible, I know I'm teaching a middle school workshop for, yeah, creative writing middle school workshop. And so, I work with the kids, and some kids are like, it's too loud at my house, and I get that, sometimes it's not the best environment. So if you're out there and you're living in and you're at home with people that may not be the best, I'm sorry, and I feel for you. But here are some things that we can do. So Love with Joy artist Cynthia Huerta, she's every day, Monday through Friday, she's doing art workshops from 3:30 to 4:30, and you can follow her on Instagram. And it's Love with Joy, Cynthia Huerta, free stuff for littles, for older people, for like whoever wants to just do art. Um, Also, Poetry is Power, and that's a workshop from the Inlandia Institute. That is a teen creative writing workshop. And so that's for teens 12 to 18, I believe. They're taking applications now. So if you go to the Inlandia Institute website or their Instagram, you'll find more information there. And I strongly encourage you to go there. I was a mentor, well, I was a facilitator last year for that program, and this year I'm working with them. Um, I won't be working so much with them because I'll be having a baby, but I'll be working with them. But it's a great organization, and they're doing great stuff for teens, and it's absolutely free. There's one-on-one mentorship. I would encourage you to seek them out. Also support your local booksellers. Now that we can do curbside pickup. Today I went and picked up 2 books, Miriam Gerba's Mean and a childhood classic, Ramona Quimby, Age 8 by Beverly Cleary. And they're masked up. They'll come and deliver the book to your car. So Cellar Door Books in Riverside, Support them. They're great. They're great supporters of the community. They're awesome. And then also, if you're in Rancho and you're like, oh, I need comic books, Four Color Fantasy is also doing um, curbside pickup. And it's a great comic book store. It's huge, wide selection, very family friendly. So Four Color Fantasies in Rancho and Celador Books in Riverside. Support if you can.
Cool. Well, thank you, Isabel. It's great talking with you and great catching up.
Oh, no, thank you, Elliot. Thank you for having me, and stay safe, everyone.
Right.